Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodger, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this morning is a man who's just really wants to see his acorns grow, Jacob. Ladies and gentlemen, I've broke him.
Oh my gosh. Very good, sir. Very good. Very good. Wow. Okay, I didn't expect that one. Why, thank you. And to introduce our co-host, a man who just had to go to, oh my gosh, you broke me on that one. I was like, oh man, mine's great. It's like, oh, that just broke me.
I didn't even think it was that funny.
Oh, my mind went every other way to Sunday with that one.
Well, get your head out of the gutter and let's move on.
Anyways, why thank you, and introduce our co-host, a man who just had to deliver a carrot to his mother in the hospital. Welcome, Drew.
A carrot?
Yeah, a carrot.
It's corn.
Oh, corn. Whatever. I'm thinking rabbit.
Obviously you're thinking of a rabbit, but this is corn.
It's an
ear of corn that they somehow wrote on.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyway,
yeah.
How are you doing today, Jacob?
Besides the usual beating myself up over just the simplest things sometimes, pretty good.
Don't beat yourself up. You're hurting my friend. Anyway.
It's like, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Pretty much.
Or as our pastor likes to say, just stop it then. Just stop it. But, yeah, I do have a tendency of being very hard on myself and very harsh on myself when I do something, just be like, to most people, it's like, okay, you made a mistake. To me, it's more like, oh, you're an idiot. All kinds of other stuff. But it's not, you live and learn, you work through it.
And then you get loves.
Yeah, I hope not. I pray the Lord no.
Anyways,
how's your week going?
My week's going good. It's actually not been that bad. I mean, I've had a good week. Work's been good. Mm-hmm. I'm working my way through a bunch of movies for our secret project, but past that, I can't really say much.
Well, I can't say one thing. I am working on a project with a friend of ours, and I can say this: I've been drawing a lot of bunnies.
Okay, no wonder you have carrots on the brain.
Pretty much. But, yeah.
So, what have you been watching? If anything.
Well, obviously, we watched Frozen 2.
Yes.
Which we highly recommend. Go watch it.
And then go listen to our episode currently on the feed right behind this one.
Yeah. I get a chance to start watching Gravity Falls again.
Yes.
Very fun.
How far did you get?
I think I got probably 2 episodes in. It was where they were throwing the...
It's been a while since I've looked at the episode list.
No, it was...
I can't remember.
They're throwing a... They were throwing a birthday party, which turned into like a dance party or something like that. And then...
Wait, is this the one with all the copies of Dipper?
Yeah, all the copies of Dipper. Okay. Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. That's a good episode.
Yeah, it was a very good episode.
I'm guessing you still haven't got to Fight Fighters yet.
No, we got the Fight Fighters.
Okay.
I think the other one was that they the crazy uncle had set up the fairgrounds and the time travel aspect of it. And,
the time traveler's pig.
Yeah, the time traveler's pig.
How do you like Waddles?
Oh, good night. Literally, Dipper gave up his opportunity to go on a date with his crush to save Waddle.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, that's a pretty good.
And then a giant baby shows up.
Yeah, that's like, okay, that's interesting.
And Lolf and Dungren.
Loth.
That's what their names are. Lolf and Dungren.
Oh, wow.
Time cops.
Time cops.
Please tell me you caught that and
yes,
you didn't just get it.
I did.
Okay, good.
I didn't get it at the time, but when you said it then, it's like,
yes, Lolf and Dungren.
Lolf and Dungren. Got it. Wow.
So have you gotten to the episode with Little Gideon?
Little Gideon.
Yes.
I believe so. I think so. Isn't he the little dude who's like he walks through a scene at one point?
He does walk through a scene a lot of point after his initial introduction episode.
Yeah.
But because, well, let's just say he's important.
Okay.
And we'll move on.
Okay, got it.
I can tell you haven't run into Bill yet. Anyway.
I've heard things about Bill.
Yes. But I don't think Bill's not till the end of the season anyway, I don't think. So anyway. Anything else?
Well, just ordered a few movies for December. Or not December, but January. And The Secret of NIMH came in today,
awesome.
Which
it's
is
sitting right here
on Blu-ray. Which I'm really looking forward to that movie. I've probably seen clips and little bits of here and there when I was a kid. And there again, it's the 1980s, so technically 1982, the same year I was born. It's dark. It's most 80s movies were more dark movies.
Especially Don Bluth.
Don Bluth was really dark.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that's what I've been watching. What have you been watching?
Well, along with Frozen 2, I did get a chance to go watch the movie It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah? How did that go?
That was a very good movie, and I highly suggest it. But the part I think is most interesting, especially our discussion, because we are both, this is an animation podcast, so I want to talk about animation stuff. You remember back on the old Mr. Rogers show, the old miniatures that they used like in the opening sequence, and sometimes when they went to a different building or a different town?
Yeah.
The really cruddy, cheap-looking miniatures? They recreated that.
Wow.
In 480i.
Wow. And
it looks good still, but it's like you're sitting there watching going, I can't believe they did that, and it actually looks like it's from the show. It's obviously been refilmed because looks a little sharper at the very least. Not sharp because it's still a little fuzzy because of the interlace, but it looks clean.
Wow.
And it's and definitely a lot of them are remade because there's, well, I can't imagine, I don't know if Mr. Rogers ever went to New York City. And there was one in New York City, one of those things, and had the Twin Towers in it, since it takes place before they fell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, I do highly suggest that movie, if you get a chance to.
Excellent.
Also, on my lunch breaks, I've been watching Phineas and Ferb.
Like you do.
That show is so much fun. It literally brightens my day.
That's
before
good.
I go back to work.
The drudgery of day.
It's just fun.
Gotcha.
It's just a fun little show. So, anyway. And then I am also still working my way through Star Wars. I got through Empire Strikes Back the other day. So, slowly but surely I'm getting there. I'll have to speed it up in a couple weeks. But
so, obviously you're leading up to Episode 9.
Obviously.
Yes.
Because supposedly Episode 9 is going to have a lot. It's gonna bring in some stuff from the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy.
Okay.
Somehow.
Interesting. So, kind of on that same note, what your favorite Star Wars movie?
I'm still the biggest fan of A New Hope. I prefer A New Hope to pretty much the rest of them because it's for one thing, it is the only one that has a beginning, middle, and end.
That's true.
Because every other one is obviously meant to tie into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, because George Lucas didn't know if he was ever going to get to make a sequel.
Yeah.
Completed a story in episode 4, and that's what we got.
Okay.
So don't get me wrong, Empire is good. It's just, it doesn't really have a beginning because it's coming off of A New Hope. It doesn't have an ending because it's got to lead into Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But A New Hope is still my favorite just because it's complete. You could watch that one and not watch any others and still have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah. I would agree with you.
Rogue One is also good.
Yeah, Rogue One is very good.
In fact, in this viewing, I watched Rogue One and then immediately watched Episode 4.
Okay.
That is something you should do at least once.
Okay.
Because they do lead, one obviously does lead directly into the other one.
Now, are you watching this via streaming or video?
I am right now watching it via Disney Plus.
Okay.
But when I get to Last Jedi, I'll have to watch that somewhere else because Last Jedi is not currently on Disney Plus.
Yeah, via Netflix.
Yeah, it's still on Netflix.
Okay.
That's why it's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's still on Netflix.
I would say I love, obviously New Hope's really amazing, incredibly well done movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love Empire Strikes Back. I love that film. And I'm one of those I'm not going to say I'm an oddball in this one, but
I'd say everybody loves Empire Strikes Back. I'm the weird one who likes A New Hope better.
Yeah. But I think a very close tie with that would probably be The Force Awakens because I just love that film to death. It's such a good film. And now again, the naysayers are like, oh, they don't know the canon, they're changing everything.
They do pretty much know the canon. They just got rid of your expanded universe because that expanded universe was too confusing.
Agreed. Be like, it's a very well told.
There were too many retcons
Yeah.
in the expanded universe because so much of the early stuff that was canon was not really wrangled together very well. And there's a lot of, the story of Rogue One, the stealing of the Death Star in the Legends universe.
Yeah.
There's 6 or 7 different versions of how those plans got stolen, and they somehow made them all canon at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't get it because I don't know what they all were or how somebody retconned that to happen. But honestly, I think I just knowing that part and then seeing Rogue One, I'll stick with Rogue One.
I got you. I did see one, kind of on that same topic of Star Wars. I did see a thumbnail on YouTube about how the Catherine Kennedy, the one who's currently running Star Wars,
who I'm perfectly fine with, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was like, oh, she doesn't know the comics, she doesn't know the books, and blah 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 blah. Like, that's a lot of information to go through. That's why you have people who do that for her. And
also, maybe she didn't. A lot of people who are saying that, they aren't talking about the new continuity. Yeah. They all want the old continuity because that's their continuity, and the fact that they are for the most part ignoring the old continuity.
Yeah.
And not, if it were me, I would love for them to bring in elements and reuse them, but if they're not going to do that, they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I am actually ready for them to get past. The thing I'm looking forward to past episode 9 is now we're going to be out there where they can do what they want, and it's not going to bloody matter how much it messes up characters we already know.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it at this point, because I'm just tired of the toxic fan base.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, speaking of stories that they're telling brand new without messing with any characters we know, and yet is still excellent. And actually, I have seen a lot of people love the show. Star Wars: The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Is phenomenal.
Okay.
We are 3 episodes in by this point. I know you haven't gotten a chance to watch any of it yet.
No, I haven't, but I've heard be like,
I don't want to spoil anything before you say something, because that first episode, there's something that happens that's going to blow a lot of people's minds, and I know it's all over Facebook. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to go into it and not see that moment coming.
I got you. Okay. Be like, I know little bits of here and there, what's going on in the story. People talking about the asset and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the asset.
Yeah,
I don't want people to know what the asset is.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, it's going to be a much better viewing on a television screen instead of little...
If you ever get internet.
Yeah. Which is the plan in the future. Which is the plan in the near future.
Okay. I understand. Takes a while to get this stuff done.
Mm-hmm. So, as we've, gone on, with our Star Wars rant.
Yes.
Let's get back into animation.
Yes. News.
News-wise.
What's in the news? I'm guessing it has something to do with
a lot of frozen
queen, a princess, a reindeer, a guy who talks through, reindeers talk through, and a snowman.
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with that?
Yes, I think it does, actually.
Does Frozen 2 live?
Well, according to the most recent theater polls, yes. Apparently, in its first week, Frozen 2 skated in theaters this past weekend with a whopping $350 million for its first weekend, and its first day in theaters grossed $45.9 million.
Wow.
Like, this movie is killing it, theater-wise. It's... far as that, it surpassed Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1 when it came out, and it is projected to, make a killing. Mm-hmm. And so, just be like, yeah, Frozen was a phenomenon.
Yes.
My personal belief, Frozen 2 is going to
surpass
it with every expectation. And I know we talked off air a few minutes ago about this. What are your expectations of Frozen 2 toppling the quote unquote animated
live action Lion King? I think it will beat it by 10%, if not more.
Yeah.
At least 10%, because here's the thing. Frozen is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I think the primary reason Lion King got as high as it did is because, quote unquote, it was not a girls' movie.
Yeah.
But it was something all ages can go see it. Frozen 2, despite it being a sequel to a quote unquote girls' movie,
yeah,
I think everyone can go see, and everyone will enjoy it. You don't even really have to know what happened in the first one, other than Elsa went cuckoo for a bit.
Yeah.
And froze the kingdom.
Yes.
And if you don't know that by now, you aren't paying attention, even if you didn't watch the movie.
Yeah. So for those who are not in the know, that Frozen was the number one grossing animated film of all time until the quote unquote live action Lion King came out and toppled it.
Mm-hmm.
So in our estimation, Frozen 2 will topple quote unquote the animated
live action Lion King.
Lion King, Lion King.
The lying Lion King.
Yeah, there we go.
The one that's lying about what it is because it's the live action reboot, but it was all animated.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for some screenshots. That's about it.
Yeah, it's like some background plates. That's it.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah.
What other news we got? Or do we have any other news?
I think that's it. But there's a few movies coming on the Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. They're all, show related.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's it.
Then let's get into our spoiler-free review of My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay.
Spoiler-free, what are your thoughts?
This was
Because I'm going to admit, after we saw Grave of the Fireflies, and I heard your reaction to it, and then I saw her make a couple of the same mistakes that you yelled at Saitama for.
Yeah.
I thought, oh no. I forgot. This is not going to end well.
No, I was actually very pleased with this film. I was very pleased.
Not Saitama, that's not his name, but anyway.
No. Yeah,
the coward.
The coward.
Let's just call him the coward.
Yeah. Or as I like to put him not that piece of trash from the Firefly.
Yes.
Agree with the Fireflies. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was definitely a breath of fresh air from our previous with Grave of the Fireflies. I enjoyed it. It was just it was warm and inviting. It just magical and enchanting and a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That I would highly recommend for anybody. It does the sibling dynamic much better than Fireflies did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into that a little bit.
All right.
But I enjoy it. Definitely go watch it. And man, this was a fun film. What about you?
I have loved this film since I first saw it about 5 years ago, and I still can't believe it took me that long to watch it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can to some degree.
Yeah.
But, no, it was more than 5 years ago. It had to have been about 11, 12 years ago by now.
Mm-hmm.
But, especially I loved it the first time I got to see it in the theater, which was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
During one of the Studio Ghibli fests
Mm-hmm.
that Fathom Events does every year. If you get a chance to see this in a theater, do. It is worth it, even though in some ways you wouldn't think it would be. It is worth it for this one. It's just a fun movie. It puts a smile on your face, and the smile does not ever leave.
I agree.
Even when you think trouble is going to happen.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I would definitely say this movie is very family friendly.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right. So, with that out of the way, let's move into our spoiler-filled review of My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki, with music done by Joe Hisashi. The cast includes Dakota Fanning as Satsuki. The thing I saw that she was in that I thought would be interesting was Coraline. In Coraline.
Yeah.
Elle Fanning plays May. Yes, Dakota and Elle are sisters, which makes sense for this one. She is currently playing Princess Aurora in Maleficent.
Uh-huh.
Which I didn't realize that was the same girl until I looked at this.
I didn't when I saw Maleficent in theaters. Yes, I saw Maleficent in theaters.
I saw Mistress of Evil last week.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was watching and I was like, wait, that's a Fanning. Which one? Oh, that's Ellie. It's like, oh, okay.
It might be Ellie. It might be Ellie Fanning. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing that
it was Ellie Fanning.
I like to say Elle in my mind for some reason, but anyway. Tim Daly plays their father, Professor Kusakabe. Mm-hmm. The thing I saw that he played Joe Hackett on the television show Wings.
Uh-huh.
And also on the Fugitive television show, he played Dr. Richard Kimball.
Okay.
I didn't even know The Fugitive had a television show.
Me either.
Until I was looking on IMDb.
Yeah. Well, I think you're missing something very important of Tim Daly's.
And what's that?
He played Superman. In Superman, the animated series.
Oh, yes, that is right.
Superman.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
And many of the, Superman...
he would return for a lot of stuff. Because he's got the Kevin Conroy connection there.
Yeah.
He's like Kevin Conroy, though. They just keep rehiring him because he was the best person they could get for the role.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I forgot that was him.
Yeah. He played Superman.
Yeah. Pat Carroll plays Granny.
Yes.
And she's best known for playing Ursula in The Little Mermaid.
In it.
Leah Salonga plays Mrs. Kusakabe. That is their mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the singing voices for Jasmine in Aladdin and Mulan in Mulan.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Paul Butcher played Kanta. And the thing I saw that people might recognize is in the movie Meet the Robinsons, he played Stanley.
Oh, okay.
Last, and most certainly,
Of
not
course.
least, playing both Totoro and the Catbus,
Ow!
Frank Welker.
Of course.
And in this week, in what odd roles has Frank Welker played? Because this is starting to become a thing.
It is.
He's the voice of Tentacruel in the Pokemon franchise.
Okay, then.
Literally, he goes, Tentacruel. Tentacruel. Because that's all Pokemon say.
Yeah, and plus it's Frank Welker.
It's Frank Welker. He could do it anything.
Well, even if I did not know Frank Welker was in this film, you could tell it's Frank Welker.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like definitely when, Totoro finally talks.
It's a mixture of Scooby-Doo and Megatron. And he doesn't even really talk. He more growls and barely says something that May translates as Totoro.
But
which, by the way, in the I think in the original script or original Japanese version, she actually was trying to say the word troll, but the Japanese pronunciation of it.
Yeah.
And so when Satsuki tries to correct her in the actual Japanese pronunciation of the word troll, she says, no, it's Totoro.
Totoro.
It's like, okay, that's his name now.
Okay, Totoro.
Totoro.
So with the budget and everything, this was incredibly hard to find.
Oh, yes.
I was bouncing between IMDb and Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Trying to find this, and it was so frustrating because it would give you these are the numbers from the 2019 release of this movie and this. And
yes, that's the thing you run into with a lot of these Miyazaki stuff is they all have 3 releases.
Yes.
And you got to figure out which one is the one you want.
Yeah. So it had an original budget of 3.7 million yen.
Mm-hmm.
Its original release in Japan, and this would be from 1988 to 1990. This would have been its gross. Its gross would have been 588 million yen.
Mm-hmm.
And to this point in 2019, it's gross 1.17 billion yen.
Yes.
And its worldwide gross would be 45 million.
If you can't tell everybody, this is the most famous Studio Ghibli work, and it is why Totoro is still, to this day, Studio Ghibli's mascot and logo.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much, I don't think there's a person in Japan who doesn't know who Totoro is.
Yeah.
He is their Mickey Mouse.
Pretty much. Now, mind you, before watching the film, I had never watched Totoro. I'd seen little things of Totoro. The thing that got me more interested in Totoro was actually watching Adam Savage Tested.
Yes.
Where he made a Totoro costume for, I think it was like San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this character? And, he's going on how much he loves the character. And it's like, okay, I've got to watch this someday.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we did, Studio Ghibli Month. And, okay, Totoro, finally.
You don't know how happy I was when I was... Before I suggested this to you,
yes,
and I was looking through at November, I thought, wait a minute. November has 5 Saturdays. What movie is Totoro? If we include both, where would that land? Do I have to play funny with this or anything? It's like, oh, this is movie 5, and we would be doing it. It would come out the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I am very thankful that this is how this landed.
Yes.
Because Totoro is just so much fun, especially after Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeesh.
And keep in mind, everybody, when this released in Japan, it was double featured with Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, come on.
Because they did not think that a film like Totoro would sell well to just everybody else. But Grave of the Fireflies being educational, according to their logic, would definitely sell well, so they would just include Totoro with it, and because it was part of the package, when schools would get Grave of the Fireflies to show off, which, can you imagine watching Grave of the Fireflies in school?
Oh my gosh, you got so many,
yes.
Either you got crying kids or angry kids.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, this is a
why
great
do you
film.
think this follows it? It's like, after being tortured for an hour and a half to 2 hours, because I don't remember how long that movie was, you get this tale.
Oh,
and it's so good.
So you're going from sobbing from frustrated to, oh, now I'm happy.
Yes.
If I was a dog, my tail would be wagging the entire time.
I'm going to get to this a little bit more when we get to likes, but I just love how this is such a opposite of Grave of the Fireflies, which I had not realized was going to be the case until I actually started watching the movie. And I go, oh, wait a minute. This happens after World War II. Mm-hmm. There are 2 siblings, at least in this case, 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. Their mother is dying. We think. It's actually tuberculosis. Oh, okay. But there's nothing in the movie that tells you that.
No.
I actually had to look up trivia because this is based on a real area of Japan.
Yeah.
And that hospital is one of the, was really well known for treating tuberculosis.
Yeah.
That's why she went to that hospital, and that's why they moved to that town.
That makes sense. And actually watching one of the documentaries on Totoro, it was like apparently Miyazaki just went to this area.
He lived in this area.
He did live in
He lived in that area.
Okay, that makes sense. He literally just sketched everything. It's like, this is where the story goes.
Or he grew up in the area at one time.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He had history in that area, and to such a point now that as that part of, because this is all in the greater Tokyo era, as the area has become more and more urbanized, there has been a movement to buy parts of the farmland to keep it farmland, to keep it the way it was before.
Yeah.
And that trust is called Totoro's Home.
Yeah, Totoro's Forest.
And they actually use Totoro.
Yeah, they use all the characters.
And they've got, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
On all that.
Yeah, they literally named the forest
Totoro's Forest. Because that's where it takes place.
Yeah.
But I just love how it's pretty much, you got these characters in the same situation. Obviously not as bad in Totoro, but contrasted to how everyone in Firefly treated those 2.
Oh, yeah.
Versus the entire town looking for this one little girl.
Yeah.
And this is this is how this is supposed to work, people. Anyway, I guess I've already moved into my first like.
I guess so.
So I'm just going to keep going.
Okay, so before that, let's give our audience a little bit of synopsis of what this film is about.
Oh, yes.
All right.
So go ahead.
So, little synopsis on our film here. 2 young girls, one a 10-year-old named Satsuki and her 4-year-old sister named May move into a home in the country with their father to be close to their hospitalized mother. Satsuki and May discover that the nearby forest is inhabited by magical creatures called Totoros, pronounced Totoro. They soon befriend these Totoros and have several magical adventures together.
Well, 3. And one of them is saving May.
Yeah, that's true. And, of course, the Catbus. Wow.
Yes, the Catbus shows up twice, and I love the Catbus.
Yes, the Catbus is awesome. All right, so
back into where I was. This movie is just so frigging magical. Mm-hmm. Hang on. We backed up, and now I got to remember where I was.
Yes.
Yeah, that is how you. This is what I wanted the Firefly people to do. Was the town come together to help these people? Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to Fireflies to, give them all, the whole town come together and give these kids a home or something. I mean, that's really, I still think the aunt's the big part of the problem there.
Yeah.
Because she ought to swallow her pride just as much as Coward does.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the guy's name. I'm just calling him Coward now. Seta, yes. It's just, looking at this in contrast with the last movie.
Yeah.
It's just, this is so, it's a breath, like you said, it's a breath of fresh air. It's just such a fun, good movie. Mm-hmm. And while I don't think I could watch this every year, because I'm afraid the sweet saturation would give me diabetes. An overload on sweetness. Mm-hmm. This is one I would want to watch regularly. Mm-hmm. This is just such a fun, good movie, and it's one everyone should watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would definitely agree with that. The fact be like, if I had children, if I was married, had kids, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm single, but
both of us are
single. So if you know any single ladies, be like, da-da-da. Anyways,
we'll put a ring on it.
Not immediately, but yeah.
We'll let you get to know us first.
Yeah.
And we'll get to know you.
Anyways, besides going Destiny's Child on you for a second, just that would be if I had the opportunity, and if I had children, I would definitely this movie is magical beyond belief, and it's like you said, the fact that Fireflies and Totoro were a double feature together.
Yeah,
it's a good night. That would be absolutely just terrifying.
Talk about the
polar opposites.
Whiplash.
Yeah,
the whiplash you get from the emotional whiplash you get from having your heart kind of crushed in those last scenes of Fireflies.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden you get to this and you go,
bounce,
okay,
bounce,
any
bounce.
minute now something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and it does. It's like it just keeps getting better and better. And then you think it's going to start getting bad when May runs off. It's like, and then when they think she's at the bottom of the pond.
Well, yeah.
Despite the fact we know she's fine.
Yeah.
There's still parts like, I feel for Granny as she's holding onto that sandal. And praying for her, I guess, for May's soul or something.
Yeah.
And that's so happy that it's not hers. Like, you feel that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the worst it ever gets. The rest of the movie is just so lighthearted and up there. And of course the ending is so sweet that you can feel your teeth rotting.
Yeah, that is true.
It's just so good. Anyway, what's your number one? If you haven't already talked about it.
No, I actually haven't talked about it. I did mention in our non-spoiler review how Sasuke is probably, in my opinion, best big sister ever.
Yeah.
Because, let me explain myself. So, we went from...
I love how neither one of us can help but compare it to like Fireflies.
Yes.
Because the movies are that similar.
They are.
In terms of setup.
I agree. So, we had Satsuki from Grave of the Fireflies, who...
Satsuki wasn't in Fireflies. It was Seita.
Seita, thank you. Seita. We go from Seita, who is the...
Coward?
Yeah, coward.
Just say coward.
Yeah, coward. Let's not get into my
We don't need to get back into that again.
Yes.
If you really want to know how Jacob feels
yes,
about Seita, listen to our previous episode.
Yeah.
The one where I got up in the middle and got a drink of water because I knew he was going to be a while.
So, we go from Seita, who's, just a little piece of trash, to Satsuki, who... they're both really young. They're both really young, but Sasuke does things right.
Yes.
She
really only has one mess up in the whole movie.
Yeah. And that's just more she's running because she has to go, get a message to her dad. And May follows her and be like, it's not Sasuke's fault to be like that.
Yeah.
May gets herself lost for a little bit, but then she winds up, hanging around the Totoros for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it's more that...
Well, that's not where she hung around with the Totoros. That's because it was... In fact, May didn't even see Totoro at the end. All she saw was the Catbus.
That's right.
Because Satsuki went to talk to Totoro, and Totoro called the Catbus.
That's right. But the thing that Satsuki did right is that she didn't give up. She wasn't like our little piece of trash from the previous film that basically was out for himself the entire time.
Yeah.
She did everything possible. Like, how many miles does this kid run?
15, I think they said?
At least 15 miles.
Yeah. Far enough, a little child would not be able to walk that far.
Yeah.
That's what one of the people she runs into says when she realizes she went down the wrong road, and then she runs back.
Oh yeah,
she doesn't take the bike that Kanta brought to catch up to her.
No,
she runs back barefoot.
Yeah,
to verify that was not her sister's sandal.
Oh yeah,
and then it occurs to her there's only one person that can save her.
Yeah,
despite the fact. Really, up until this point, I wasn't 100% sure that Totoro was not in their imaginations.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking.
And really, even when they do this, she's right over there. I'm thinking, okay, she's obviously now delirious.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking.
To some degree, it's like it's like, this is not going to turn out well. And then the part where you realize maybe some of it is real is the corn actually gets to their mother. Mm-hmm. Because they were able to take it there. Mm-hmm. It's like, if
maybe there's something to this.
Maybe there is something. It's like, it's just, to some degree, it feels like it's part of their imagination, and to some degree, it's like, no, this is actually happening, and, it's just because it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. I keep talking during your part.
You're good. The fact that Sasuke is so dedicated to trying to find her sister, that she physically exerts herself to the point of exhaustion, trying to find her. And, that was so, from our last episode to this episode, it's just like breath of fresh air.
Yes.
That you have a sibling that is going to go the distance, is going to literally go the distance to try to find her sister because she cares that much. Mm-hmm. Unlike our little piece of trash from earlier. Sorry,
to get off on that. I think he cared for his sister. He just didn't take care of her. Yes, his sister, he should have.
I agree.
He did it completely wrong.
Yes, I agree. Anyways, so yeah, I just be like, Sasuke is probably best big sister in my regards. Definitely in the Studio Ghibli universe.
The Ghibli-verse?
The Ghibli-verse. There we go.
If there is such a thing.
Yeah. So, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Totoro himself.
Ah.
Or herself. I think it's a he.
It's a he.
I'd say it's a he. Totoro is just such an interesting character. I mean, when we first meet him, he's asleep.
Yeah. He sleeps a lot.
There's a part of me that was looking at that and going, it's a good thing I know this guy's friendly, or I would actually be scared for May right now because his mouth is bigger than she is. He just woke up, and what could look like food to most animals is sitting on his stomach as if saying, here I am. So it's a good thing that Totoro's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I still love the scene where Satsuki first meets him. They're waiting for the bus. Mm-hmm. And he's standing there in the rain. She gives him their dad's umbrella, which to some degree made me go, well, you ought to just go home now if you're just going to give away the umbrella. Yeah. Because that's the entire reason you're there. Mm-hmm. But, and then the heavy raindrops fall on the umbrella.
Oh, that's fun.
He gets excited and starts jumping to make more of it, and all of a sudden you've got this downpour, and it stops raining because he just knocked all the water off the leaves. It's like, oh, that is just so... This scene adds nothing. Yeah. Let's be honest. This scene adds nothing to the plot.
Yeah.
And yet it's just such a wonder to watch this forest creature who doesn't know anything about human...
Yeah. He's a
stuff. Yeah. Human things is just causing rain to fall on the umbrella he apparently stole because he doesn't give it back.
No, he doesn't.
And he even has it again during their raising the acorns later.
Yes.
So, Totoro is just such a fun character, and along with his 2 other mini Totoros that hung out with him, those are just such an interesting, cool little characters, and I honestly understand why he's Japan's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
He's just iconic, he's lovable, and, he's just fun. And despite the fact he's a monster, in looks, he's not actually a monster.
Yeah. Speaking of this, the umbrella scene, where we first meet him, or the second time we meet him, is like, Satsuki looks up and be like, this is a huge, enormous character. And
with
he's got
a leaf on his head.
It's like, oh, here's the umbrella. That's another thing I like with Satsuki. She's willing to, here's an umbrella.
She gives away her father's umbrella
to a magical creature.
And the father never says anything about his missing umbrella.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I love about his character. It's just like, man, I'll get to that point later.
Yes.
So that was your number.
That was my number 2.
Okay. So my number 2, like always with Studio Ghibli and the director's name? Miyazaki. With Miyazaki's films, the animation just like, oh my gosh, the backgrounds. Like there's some scenes like literally, can't I just make that a painting?
Yeah.
Like make a print, put it in a frame, and just put it on my wall. Because it's just, oh my gosh, yes.
And I will say, after I went goo-goo for all the parallax scrolling you saw in Fireflies, I noticed a couple in this one.
Oh, yeah.
So, just to point that out, that's in there too. Mm-hmm. Since that apparently is my watermark of good animation.
Yeah, and plus this movie was made in 1989.
Yes.
Same year as Little Mermaid.
Yeah. And Little Mermaid doesn't have parallax scrolling.
No, it doesn't. In fact, it'd be like, if you were to compare The Little Mermaid with Totoro?
Totoro's a better looking movie.
It's a 10 not better looking movie.
Totoro looks like it was made in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s. You're talking...
And it came out the same year as The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Disney. I loved your animation. Ghibli was doing it better.
Yeah, Ghibli was doing it better. I would agree. Even though Little Mermaid is one of my favorite films of all time. Totoro is incredibly... Animation-wise, the run cycles in this be like how the characters run, and but like there's no... They're not trying to blur it. Be like you can see their actual...
Oh, yeah.
Their forward.
There's no motion blur.
No, there's not. The...
Not even speed lines, which I'm fine with speed lines in some instances, because you need it in some instances, because it would look... If you did not have them, it would look almost too... Mm-hmm. It would almost be surreal on some run cycles, but they didn't really even need that here, because you can see every single step.
Oh, yeah.
There's no shortcuts taken in this that I can see.
Yeah. So, yeah, the animation, again, with Ghibli... is
except for maybe the soot sprites.
Yeah.
There were some shortcuts in their animation.
There was some little shortcuts there. I didn't think about it when you said that.
But it's not much.
No, it's not. Yeah, animation. Top-notch Ghibli stuff. Mm-hmm. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Satsuki and Mei.
Okay.
Mainly Mei.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, because while Satsuki is nice and fun, Mei is just so friggin' adorable.
I agree.
I love when her father's, trying to do the work and she's out there and she's so happy that her sister made her lunch. Mm-hmm. Then she's carrying the lunch around with her all day. And 5 minutes after Satsuki goes to school and Dad sat down to work, she says, "Is it lunchtime yet?" It's like, we just had breakfast 5 minutes ago. Just wait a little while longer. Okay. And she goes, and then 5 seconds later, she's putting the little daffodils on his desk. Said, "Daddy, you be the flower store." And then she never comes back. Those flat daffodils.
Oh, admittedly, that's a look at her age.
Admittedly, she got distracted by the white Totoro ghost creature that was going through the yard. So I'll give her that. But that whole scene, and then the fact that you can follow her logic as to why she runs off at the end. Mm-hmm. She's not running off to run off. No. She literally, in the scene right before that, thought she and Granny were talking, and they said, these vegetables are good enough to get your mama better. And they'll be and it's even better coming, and she says it'll even be better coming from the vegetables I picked myself. Mm-hmm. And, Granny agrees with her. And so when they find out she's not coming home that weekend, she doesn't know that's what it is. She's carrying the corn. She realizes honestly, she's scared her mother's not going to get better. Yeah. Because her sister's scared she's not going to get better. Yeah. And that fear transfers. Like, this happened last time. That fear transfers. And Mei is just independent enough that if nobody else is going to help her mom, she's going to do it. Yeah. By running to the hospital to give her the ear of corn that she picked. Now, granted, that ear of corn is not going to do a cotton picking thing.
Right.
We know this because we're adults.
Right.
But we understand, we know that her heart was in the right place.
Oh, yeah.
And we know why she ran off, even though it's going to cause problems elsewhere. Yeah. But the fact that... Okay, in Fireflies, I hate to keep bringing this movie back up, but I'm going to. I don't follow half the motivations for these characters.
That is true.
This movie, for every single character, I know what their motivation is, I know what's going through their mind, I know their logic, and can follow it. And I appreciate that, and it's just so well done both with Satsuki and Mei.
Agreed.
Also, an entire school falls in love with your little sister. How bad can that be?
Yeah. She's like, oh, you're embarrassing me. All her friends be like, I like her. She's cool.
What are you drawing? Totoro's? It's like, no one bothers to ask what that is because they know she's a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. And also, we're supposed to be working.
Yeah. It's like, quit embarrassing me. Like, siblings are going to do.
That's just how things are.
Exactly. So, that
was my number 3. What's yours?
Oh, my number 3 would be the dad, Tim Daly. Because so often you have characters that you have these young kids have this overactive, vibrant imagination. There's going to be like, oh, there's this creature that we hang out with, and he encourages it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, they're spirits, and he explains what they are.
Yeah.
And he literally takes them to the
shrine.
The shrine and explains this all to them.
Yeah.
Where so often you'd be like, oh, the dad's going to play along for like 3 seconds.
But no,
and then he's going to...
He clearly explains what's going on, or what he thinks is going on, let's be honest, and takes them to the shrine out by the big camphor tree, which is set up a lot like one of those shrines would be set up, which makes sense, it's Japan.
Right.
And they actually do a quick prayer to the forest spirit to thank them, thank them for taking care of Mei when she ran off.
For the first time.
And it's not even that much of a runoff. She went into the grass. So now that we've gone through our likes.
Like, bring one more up. Oh, I did, actually. Forgot one. The Endless Adventure. Endless Adventure, kind of a number 4 for me, actually, is The Endless Adventure. Because the story does not stop. It's like, literally, like, you go from... them arriving at their new home to them like Mei discovering Totoro, the hidden passage, and just the endless adventure of it. It doesn't stop. Be like most Miyazaki films. Be like literally it's just boom, plot, boom, 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 just point. And it's a fun, great adventure. The kind of quoted Stephen Curtis Chapman song, The Great Adventure. Just it is a ride. It's a fun, adventurous little ride that leaves you smiling and joyful the entire day, the rest of your day. So, yeah, that's my kind of quote-unquote my 4th point.
Okay. So, I guess we'll go ahead and move into our dislikes.
Okay.
My first dislike, the movie ends.
Yes!
Because in many ways, I want the movie to keep going. I want to see more adventures. I want to see the mother come home. I want to see... all this stuff happen, and of course it doesn't. The movie has to end sometime, and it's so sad to see the movie end. I hate that being one of my dislikes, but honestly, there's so few things to not like about this movie. So, that's my only dislike.
Yeah. Well, my dislikes, and I actually wrote it down, and be like, what dislikes?
There's nothing to not like about this movie.
There's nothing wrong about it.
Which is so refreshing after last movie.
So, yes. That would be our likes and dislikes of My Neighbor Totoro.
So, I guess we should go ahead and move into our ratings. I'm giving this a 10. My first ever 10.
Wow.
Because honestly, I do think this is the perfect movie.
Okay.
It does everything it set out to do. It's beautiful, and I don't have a thing to say against it, other than it has the audacity to roll credits. Which I can't really blame the movie for, because it has to end sometime, and I just don't want it to.
That is true. Well, at that point, good night. Because, thinking about it, Because I had one when I wrote it down. I would say definitely give it a 10. Because I gave Little Mermaid a 10.
Yeah.
Because, to me, that was an amazing film. Like, even though it has flaws, it's it's still an amazing movie. So yeah, I would definitely give My Neighbor Totoro a 10.
Alrighty.
If you give it higher, give it higher.
Yes.
But it's such a incredible, breathtaking, like you said before, just amazing movie that if you've never seen it, find it.
It's not hard to find.
No, it's not.
Right now, you can buy the G Kids release on Amazon. I know that, and probably anywhere you can find a decent collection of movies.
Yeah.
And when was it HBO Plus?
Yeah.
Or whatever that new
HBO Max.
That's the current one, I think.
HBO Max is the new
one.
one.
But whatever the new one is called.
Yeah.
All the Studio Ghibli films that G Kids has the rights to is going to be streaming there. So if you're already paying the $15 a month for that, go watch this movie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else before we move into our outro?
Not that I know of. What are we watching for December?
Watching for December. Well, December being Christmas time, we're going to watch some Christmas movies. And because we've been doing my choices for the past 5 weeks, you get the first choice. So what is the first movie we're watching in December?
We are watching Claws, which is the new movie on Netflix. I have not seen it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
So this could be either really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah, what I keep hearing the reviews over, it's really good, and it's 2D.
Alright.
It's computer-generated 2D animation.
So it's Vector.
It's Vector.
Alrighty. And then after that, we're going to watch Muppet Christmas Carol.
Alright.
It is a Christmas Carol done by the Muppets. And if you're curious how we are getting away with doing what is almost a live-action movie in an animated podcast, I believe puppetry is technically a form of animation.
It is a form of animation.
Which is why we're doing it, because for the most part, it is based on the Muppets themselves, which is puppetry.
It's Jim Henson.
It's Jim Henson. It's beautiful. Well, this is actually the first Muppet movie after Jim Henson's death.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know that.
First time Kermit the Frog was not voiced by Jim Henson.
Ah, okay.
But we'll get into that later.
So, never mind. I'm not going to go into the Turtles.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then, because December is a busy month, those are the only 2 movies we're reviewing. But we're also going to be releasing 2 short episodes those last 2 weeks, so that you at least have something to listen to while we're taking some time off.
Yeah.
So, I think that is it, except for our outro stuff. So, Jacob, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, and also on Facebook you can find my Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw every day, and it's just, I've done this for about 2.5 years, and people keep saying I've been doing a lot of improvements, and
yes.
So yeah, if you like following artists and following them in their journey to improvement, tag along. Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me also on Facebook under Drew Dodgen. Also, you can find my collection of photography pictures. That's a really good way to say that. You can find my collection of pictures at Drew's Photo Bin. I still need to get some stuff up there that I have yet to get up there this entire 5 weeks. I keep talking about it, and I haven't done it. But we'll get around to that.
Yeah.
And then you can find the both of us over at thecellcast.podbean.com. There you will find links to listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and iTunes. Plus, if you don't want to go to those, all the episodes are right there to listen to straight from the website as well.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that. Also, there is our closed Facebook group the Cellcast. It is kept closed. I don't know what we're keeping out this week.
Death Spirits.
No, I kind of like the Soot Goblins. Whatever they're called.
Yeah, Soot Goblins.
We keep it close to keep out tuberculosis.
There we go.
It's the closest thing to an antagonist in this movie.
Okay.
Anyway. You can also like our Facebook page at the Cellcast Podcast. And email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Also, there is our Twitter account, at cast_cell. And keep in mind, every time I've said the word cell, that is with a single L.
Yeah. Also, when you listen to us and you enjoy our podcast, like and subscribe on your favorite podcast directory. Share us on your social media page to get the word out. Share with as many friends as you like. If you're a part of groups that allow that kind of thing, share us there. Get this community growing and just
yes,
the joy we have with Totoro that we can share with others, and the other people can learn more about Totoro and all these amazing films we've watched so far. So,
and plus, you want your favorite podcasts to grow, and hopefully we're one of your favorites.
Yeah,
and we want to grow.
Yeah,
so.
Help us out in that.
We'd appreciate that.
Yes.
Also, while no one took us up on it again this week, usually the day before, or sometimes 2 days before, I post what movie we are going to record on the Facebook page, asking for comments. And if you actually comment, I will read it on the show. We've had only one person since we started this take it up, and I don't think he knew we were going to do it.
And so when you do listen to this podcast when it comes out this Saturday, or when you're listening to it, go on to Facebook or wherever you do this, and just give us a review. What did you think? Be like, because
that helps us out. It helps us get discovered as well.
Exactly.
I mean, really, please. I know everyone tells you this. We really mean it.
Yeah, it
everyone does. Because this is how people find you on these things.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm gonna go and play with the Totoros in the woods. How about you?
I'm about to go edit this episode because Thanksgiving means I don't have time to edit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
well, snooze you lose then.
I'm hoping I'm not snoozing in the morning because I have work.
Yeah.
So, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame.
Bye. Next time on The Cellcast.
Okay, post office is now officially open. You have your letters, step right in. Thank you, thank you.
Ah! Hey, loser! What gives? I sent my letter and all I got was a lousy clump of coal.
Well, it serves you right. Devilish little tadpoles like yourself don't get toys from Klaus.
Oh, yeah? And how would he know what I'm up to unless you ratted on me?
Oh, I didn't have to. He knows.
What do you mean?
He sees everything, Every mischief, prank, and dirty deed. He keeps a list. The naughty list, he calls it.
You lie.
Trust me. You do not want to be on the naughty list. So, you still want to throw that snowball? I didn't think so.